Hey, how's it going? Thanks for visiting. I'm Nancy Gammon. I'm just getting ready to dye a Caleidoscoop t-shirt. I'm starting with a clean white 100% cotton t-shirt that I have washed and dried without the use of any fabric softener. And I'm just getting it smoothed out and lined up here on the surface. This is a dry t-shirt still. And I'm going to create my dyed design in the center of the shirt, so I want to find that midline. If the shirt has side seams, you may be able to line those up, but this one doesn't. So I'm going to measure and mark 3 points along the center of the shirt. The first one's going to be about halfway down, and I'm using this nifty center finding ruler. But if you don't have one, you can use a regular measuring stick and do math, which is always fun. And then I'm going to make the next mark a couple of inches from the hemline here. And just put a safety pin in there at the center. And then the next mark I'm going to make up near the neckline. When we start folding, this area is going to get all weird and bunchy, and so it will help to have a mark up there. And then I'm going to just reach my hand inside here so that I'm only pinning just the top layer of the shirt. And after I get that done, I'm going to toss the t-shirt into a soda ash solution and let it soak for about 10 minutes. I've wrung out the soda ash solution as much as I can, but the t-shirt is still pretty damp, and I'm just going to kind of fold it crossways here to get these safety pins down this one side, since they're marking the front of the shirt. And I'm looking for that entry point of the safety pin, since that's what was marking the center. And I'm just going to try and get these lined up here and get the rest of the t-shirt smoothed out a little bit so that it will fold up nicely. So the Caleidoscoop design is going to go here on the center front of the t-shirt. I'm going to go ahead and take this safety pin out, and I'm just going to set it aside here to kind of remind myself about where the center of the shirt is. Then I'm going to pick up the hem and fold it in half, stopping it about where that pin is. And then I'm going to take just this top layer and fold it down to meet the bottom line, and I'll go ahead and remove this pin. And then I'm going to fold it again, and then also once more, so a total of 3 times folded down. Now I'm going to flip the t-shirt over so that I can fold the other direction. I'm just going to pinch this layer of folds so that I don't lose them, and flip it over like this. Get things smoothed out again here a little bit. And I'll take out this top pin. Whoops, come on you. And fold this edge down to meet the bottom. Fold the diagonal down. And then do that a 3rd time. And I have a great big binder clip that I'm going to use to secure the folds while I'm working with the rest of the shirt. So this area will form the kaleidoscope, the folded area, and it will kind of blossom out into the rest of the shirt. I'm just going to loosen up this fabric. Wherever there's a fold, there will be a line, and I'd like for the rest of the shirt to just be loose and abstract. So I'm kind of unfolding any little folds that may have ventured out into that area so that it's nice and fluffy. And the next part of this is a little twist to this bottom folded area that will create the kaleidoscope. So I have the many folds here at the top, and I have just the 2 thick folds underneath. And I'm going to roll it up kind of like a cinnamon roll, keeping these many folded edges aligned. And then I'm going to hold that cinnamon roll in place with a little damp rag. This is actually a makeup remover towelette that has gone through the laundry. It's damp, and I'm just going to fold it under and around to help keep that cinnamon roll in shape. And now I'm going to put it on my dye pan, which I have over here. So the setup I'm using is a plastic bin and then a cooling rack, like what you might use to cool your baked cookies on. And then I have a metal baking pan with holes punched in the bottom for drainage, and some scraps of mat board that I'm setting over the holes so that the design doesn't get onto the fabric. And I'm going to lift my roll and bunch, I think I don't need this one, on here. Now the cinnamon roll area is already covered with a protective cloth. I want to protect this other area too. Since we're working with powdered dyes, the powder doesn't always all turn to liquid. Sometimes it can leave little sploochy splotches, and so I want to protect the fabric with a little rag so that that doesn't happen. And now I'm going to, well, the other thing too is by using 2 colors of rags, I can easily see that this is the kaleidoscope area and this is the rest of the body of this shirt. So now I'm going to cover it with a layer of ice cubes. I'm aiming to have pretty much just a single layer of ice on everything. If there's too much ice, then the dye can get diluted a little bit, but if there's not enough, it can end up kind of splotchy. So there's a decision to be made about what kind of color pattern to use on this shirt. So one choice is to do a certain set of colors just over the kaleidoscope and then have the rest of the t-shirt be different, or you can just sprinkle the same colors all over everything, and that will form kind of an abstract design on the body of the t-shirt that then just gently blends into the kaleidoscope design on the front. But I'm going to do different colors because I think that creates kind of a wow factor, a how did you do that response when there's this different color that's right in the center. So I thought it would be fun to do really kind of a hot red and yellow and pink there in the middle. So I'm going to start with hot pink that I'm sprinkling on. And these are Procyon fiber reactive dyes. This technique does not work with RIT dyes. That's a different process. This is lemon yellow, and you do want to have your dust mask on when you're doing this. This is Chinese red. And then the last one I'm going to put on here is deep orange. So this should just be a really hot, fiery center to the t-shirt. Then the body of it is going to be a little bit cooler. So I'm going to use a turquoise, which is be a real nice bright blue. And I'm going on pretty liberally because I want sort of a dramatic effect on this t-shirt, I think. And then I have some deep purple. And I don't have a lot of this left, so I might end up just kind of finishing this off here. All right, so now the project needs to sit overnight for the powder to turn to liquid and when the ice melts, and the color to seep and set into the fabric. So let it rest about 22 hours. I am so excited and curious to see what this Caleidoscope t-shirt looks like. Whenever I ice dye, it feels like it's my birthday. I must be about 157 by now. So hopefully we'll have, ooh, the back looks gorgeous, an interesting kaleidoscope here on the front. I love the color of this blue and purple background. Things do look a little different when they're wet. So what I'm going to do now is take this over, oh yum yum yum, to the deep sink, and I'm going to rinse the shirt out in cold water until the water runs clear, and then I'm going to wash it in hot water with a textile detergent to get out any remaining loose dye. And then I'm going to rinse that out and soak it in Retain in hot water for about 20 minutes. And some of you can see some of the blue from the back is soaking out here to the front, but I think if I rinse it out quickly, that will disappear and we'll get to see the kaleidoscope design a little bit more clearly once it's all finished. So don't cry before it's dry. Here's the completed shirt, washed, dried, and pressed with a hot iron. It's got the kaleidoscope on the front, kind of melting around the sides to the nice purple and blue abstract design on the back. I really like how the back turned out. And that purple dye from the back that had been kind of bleeding through to the front when I first unfolded it, just all washed away and left the nice red and orange design. I feel like I'm not really seeing the little intricate parts of the kaleidoscope the way that I would like to, though. I think maybe the dye colors that I chose were too similar. So I'm going to try this again using a different color combination to try and get more contrast so that we can really see the neat elements that make up the kaleidoscope on the front. So, Kaleidoscope t-shirt, take 2. Here's the completed adult-sized t-shirt, and I feel happier with these results. The contrast that's in the center makes it a little easier to see the pretty details that come along with this kaleidoscope fold. This really tickled my brain buds, and I'm excited to do some more experiment. I'll see you next time. Do 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 do.